Hey guys, it's Hannah here, and I am back today with my what I wore in September. So, I filmed my what I wore in July and August, and it went for 45 minutes, and the file got corrupted. So, I already put it all away, so I'm not doing that again. Hence you didn't get a video 2 weeks ago. I also filmed my empties, which I thought also got corrupted, but it didn't, so it's coming next. It was just a bit of a schmozzle at the end of the term, and I didn't pay attention to the fact that the second video didn't get corrupted and could have gone up, but anyway. Let's talk about what I wore in September, because it was a very busy month, as is most school terms, but hey. I played with some stuff and it was really fun. Base. If you don't know, I project pan. The last update video was the one before this one, and I am panning the Wet n Wild 5-in-1 Primer Essence as my primer. I panned and finished my Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation and rotated in my one size Triple B cream, which I set with the one size Turn Up the Base powder. Under the eyes, I have been using the Sigma Color Corrector. And for an eye primer, I have been using the NARS Tinted Eyeshadow Base. My brows have been Benefit Goof Proof and the 24-Hour Brow Setter. Concealer I used last month was the LYS Triple Fix. I like this as a lightweight concealer, but I do find I need to let this set down a little bit before I blend it out. So it is one where I need to wait, but I'm okay with that. It gives me really a beautiful finish once I do that. And those are the things that kind of don't change, except the concealer. So let's go on to cheeks. Cheeks, cheeks, cheeks. All of it is in a little makeup bag. I think that's it. There. All right, cheeks. Bronzer. I love this bronzer so much. And it's super affordable. It is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. This stuff is gorgeous. I find it very comparable to my NARS Tantastic bronzer. It's fantastic. I love this bronzer. It just blends beautifully. I have the shade number 200 Fair Pale, because I am fair and pale. And it's fantastic. For a drugstore bronzer to have such a great undertone and work for fair skin, it's great. Love it. Blush. I had 4 blushes. First, the M Cosmetics Heaven Glow Blush in Baroque. This is a gorgeous nude blush. If you want a true nudie brown with a little bit of something blush, this is stunning. It's got a little bit of a glow to it. It is a baked formula, so it blends beautifully on the skin, and I just find it goes with basically anything because it's a beautiful nude. If you want something a little bit warmer in a similar baked format, we have the MAC Mineralized Blush in Warm Soul. I remember when I was so scared of this blush because it was peachy, and I hated peachy. I literally only wore cool tones. What was wrong with me, honestly? My blushes are very full. This is a gorgeous, again, very sheer to buildable, but a peachier tone, which is funny because this looks more orange in the viewfinder, but it's not. This is more peachy. This is more brownie nude, but still gorgeous. And then for something for my cool tone days, because you know I have variety, the Natasha Denona My Mini Dream Blush Duo in Glow Blush. I swirl the blushes together and then apply the highlight separately. That's just my preference. But this is a gorgeous rosy toned blush and a fantastic champagne-y highlighter. It's fantastic for travel, for on the go. It's really great. And then I did kind of pull out a little bit of fun because it is spring. So for a little bit of fun, I pulled out my Luminous Flush Blush from Hourglass. This is a nice pink tone. That's just, even though it's quite vibrant pink because it's that Hourglass formula, it just is so natural on the skin. And it's fantastic. For highlight, I pulled out my Dior highlighting quad. This is in the rose gold, and it's just stunning. I used all 4 shades here. Obviously these 4 are my highlight shades, and this is a blush topper for me. We have the gold pearl, pink gold, rose, and golden peach. I love them all. They are just, you can't even see them going down my hand. It's just gorgeous glowiness, and I love them. They're beautiful. So I had some pretty nice cheeks, if I do say so myself, this month. For eyes, it is a staple that when it comes to the end of term, I pull out Charlotte Tilbury Oyster Pearl. This is my go-to one and done eyeshadow when I am so lazy, but I need to put makeup on because I need to feel put together. This is my go-to. Like, this is like well loved. Like, I should replace this, but it's still so creamy and it doesn't smell funny, so like I'm still gonna use it. But this is my perfect one and done eyeshadow. It is a more taupey bronze shade, so it is a little bit cool. It is cooler toned, but it just blends beautifully on the eye and into the crease. It's got a little bit of something to it. I had the rose gold shade and I just didn't think it was anywhere near as special as Oyster Pearl is. But then to make it a little bit more fun, and basically make it an expensive dupe, it's literally no cheaper than buying the original, of the Tom Ford Platinum Eye Duo. So this is the Auric version. It's got basically the same shade, Oyster Pearl, as the cream, and then the shimmer at the top is basically the same as Sparktacular from MAC. I had it, it was beautiful. It was the Platinum Boy Duo, I don't know. I just tapped that over the top and it just gives it an extra sparkle on the lid, and I love it. That's Sparktacular from MAC. You can't get it anymore, but if you want to get that, the Tom Ford Duo is exactly the same. Some other singles. I'm trying to get through using some of my singles before the end of the year, because my goal in the year is to use every makeup product that I own. However, eyeshadows I really struggle with, my singles in particular, because they're kind of, sometimes I leave them for special occasions and then I forget to wear them. One of those being the most beautiful rose gold eyeshadow that exists, Holika Rose Flash. This is like a creamy rosy tone, and it is so high shine, and it's got sparkle in it, and it is beautiful, and I love it. And then something a little bit more traditional, Urban Decay YDK. I love this shadow. I really do. It's a traditional shimmer shadow. Like, it's not super metallic reflect, like it's standard metallic, but like it's not sparkly, it's not, but it's so gorgeous. It is so beautiful, and there is a reason I didn't want to get rid of, was it the Naked 3 that had that one in it? I know, I refused to get rid of the Naked 3 till I bought that as a single, because I only kept it for YDK, and I love it. Palettes! I've got a few palettes, 5 palettes. Most of them are small palettes though. So, the thing I used with all of those singles was my Baby Bieber from Natasha Denona. This is just a fantastic trio. It has what for me is a highlighting shade, a matte crease, and a deeper shade. So it is the perfect companion palette when I'm wearing a single shadow, because it gives me that definition, it gives me a highlight, and it's really quite neutral, so it goes with everything. Something else a little bit fun is the Colourpop Sorbet palette. So this is a pinky toned palette, and it's just really pretty to give a pinky tone, but still on the neutral side. This gorgeous shade, Extra Syrup, is this one here, is a gorgeous neutral mauve shade. Not neutral, it's a mauve. It's a cool tone mauve, but it works really well to give a neutral look to the eye. 2 9 pans, Huda Beauty Gold and Anastasia Sultry. Very different ends of the color spectrum here. So we have a cool tone in Sultry, and then obviously a golden tone in Gold. Very contrasting here. I really like the sparkles in the Gold palette. However, I think my love for this palette is fading. It is the last Huda palette I own. And I just feel like the shimmers aren't performing the way they used to. They're getting more hard pan, they're not picking up as nicely, and they're not laying on the lid as nicely. And I'm not loving the tones of the mattes as much as I used to. So I don't know if this one's going to make it this year in my declutter. Which is really sad because I like that palette. There's a reason it's the last one of my Hudas to survive. The Anastasia Sultry palette, this is really pretty. It gives this shade here in Cinder, gives me a more warm version of YDK, and I'm pretty sure if it didn't have this in the palette, I wouldn't use it. I think I've mentioned I mostly use this row of the palette the most. It is my go-to look, is this row, like at the top or bottom, depending on which way you look at it. And it's probably not smart to keep it for that. However, I don't own a silver. I don't own a black. So if... did I just say that? I own Natasha Denona Xenon. When I bought this, I didn't own a silver or a black. I got Xenon at the start of the year in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. So that was how I justified this palette is, well, I don't have grey, a silver or a black. Hannah, you now have a palette entirely devoted to grey, silver and black. However, I would probably keep the Sultry over the Xenon. I like the Xenon, but it doesn't work on its own for me. So I would probably keep the Sultry to keep my silver grey black. And then declutter the Xenon, which I didn't buy. I'm glad I tried it. See, I'm getting into declutter bone because it's almost the end of the year, so I know that that's coming up. So I think Sultry would stay. Finally, we have the Kaleidos Sashimi City palette. I love this. It's gorgeous. It's a little bit more out there of a neutral palette, but I love it. And it won't go anywhere. Finally, we have lip products. I recently hauled the Fenty Beauty Blaze Donut Gloss Bomb Stick, and this is phenomenal. I love this. The color it gives my lips, I love the scent. I know it kind of is slightly medicinal. This is phenomenal. I love this lip product. Every time I put it on this month, whether on its own with a lip liner, so I use the Anastasia Muted Mauve lip liner with it a lot. It was gorgeous. I topped it over the Maybelline Superstay Crayon in Lead the Way to get more of a pinky look. Like, I did all of the things over the NARS Good Times. It went with everything, and it was my favorite lip look. Like I added it to anything and I loved it. Another favorite is Pat McGrath Nude Venus Divinal Lip Shine. This is more pinky, but again a similar concept of the glossy lip. So this one's the most kind of neutral but cool tone. Then I have the pinky in the Pat McGrath, and then we've got the brown in Makeup by Mario. And this one definitely browns out anything, like it nudes it out a lot. And that one's in Nude Glow. Then we had Sephora Caramel, which is a deeper shade. Ooh, looks very similar to Divinal, but it's definitely deeper and more on the caramelly side. And then Revlon Honey Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stain was super fun to wear again. I panned this so long ago. I loved it. It's a really nice pink. Very cool tone though. I have no complaints. I loved everything I wore this month. But that Fenty was phenomenal. The other thing I was really impressed with is the Barry M Fresh Face Fixation Spray. I used quite a bit of this. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's a combination of Fix Plus and a setting spray together. Like, I feel like it held my makeup a little bit more than Fix Plus does on its own. But it still wasn't like, all of the setting sprays I have at the moment are quite mattifying. So this was Fresh Face is a great name for it. I really enjoyed it. All right, so those are the things that I wore in the month of September. Lots of wins, nothing, well, besides the gold palette that I may think to get declutter. My brain is just in declutter mode. I'm so ready for it, but I'm not because I still haven't used everything yet. So we will be waiting till December to declutter, but I'm starting to figure out what's gonna go and what's gonna stay. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you click subscribe if you are ready in that decluttering mode in your brain. Love to hear it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys have been wearing lately, what you think of it. Is there something you think I need to try? Let me know, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.